Aho! Welcome again, my love and light warriors. Today I'm going to be bringing a message that is very, very important to discuss in regards to what's happening in the world right now. Because some of you are aware that currently the world is divided. We are living in two worlds. Some of you that are aware and have been doing research who are intuitive know that we've been going through this ascension ever since all this started. And so there's two worlds simultaneously. We're experiencing two worlds at the same time. And that's whether you want to see it as, people are in the 4D or 5D, or some are ascending and some aren't. However you want to describe, what it looks like, it is happening. It has happened and it is still happening. And so what that means is that there's a half of the people, and I'm just saying like figuratively, not literally, like half. I don't know the numbers, but for example, there's half of the people that are aware of the bigger picture, the reality of what is going on, and the darker reality of what's being dismantled, and I'm trying not to use certain words because I don't want to get flagged, but it's also very important for me to talk about this, and it's very, very important, and I guess I should have said this at the beginning, for whoever watches this to be open to listening to the information without judgment, and then just seeing where resonates, what doesn't. But if we could at the very least come to a point where we can have these discussions, then that's the goal. And that's a main part of this message. But there's also all the in between that is important for people to understand of what is happening right now. And so because there is this divide that is happening, or this ascension, there is that half of the people that are aware, they've been doing research and understand that because currently there's a dismantling going on of darkness, I'll just say it like that, globally, on multiple layers, that there are people who have been doing the work throughout this time of us being kept home, and have been doing the work on very deep levels. And so that's where the ascension comes in, of why there's certain people that are I guess they call it we're ascending. And this is not to say one group is better than the other. That's not what this message is about. It's just what is happening. It's just what it is. And again, the goal here, the main intention for this message is that as a collective, it is important for us to discuss what's happening and come together as a whole, because no matter what part of the ascension you're at, we're all experiencing it together. And so in order for us to get through it, we must come through it together and help each other without bringing in the negative energies of the low vibration of fear, hate, and anything that is opposite of love. And so that's what this is about. Spirit's asking me to speak up and remind everyone how important it is that no matter what side of the spectrum you're at, that we can all come to a common agreement to be respectful of each other, no matter where you're at in your beliefs about what's happening. And that includes not guilting the other person, or the other, wherever that person is in their beliefs, about whether they're wearing this or not. Because the reality is that the person is going to experience what they're supposed to experience through this process. And so when you're guilting someone for not wearing this because they're jeopardizing everybody, that is not coming from a place of faith, love, trust, it's coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a low vibration of uh, wanting someone else to be responsible for that person. You know, that person's wanting that, you know, everybody to be responsible for their health, for their well being, whether it's emotional and energetic, physically. And, you know, not to sound inconsiderate, because again, that's not the intention, but it is important that people start really digging deeper into themselves and ask themselves, why is it upsetting? You know, why are they getting upset if someone else isn't doing this or wearing one, if the person should be responsible for their own health? And in other words, when did it change that someone else should be responsible for even myself, you know, for my health? If I'm doing everything that I can and that have always been doing, taking the measures to take care of my health and myself, then how would it be fair for someone else to ask me to pretend that I'm ill by wearing this? Because see, every time that someone walks out and they're wearing this, and I had made a video about this in the past where it was under hypnosis or hypnotherapy, and I broke it down and explained it very thoroughly about what is happening every time everywhere is walking around wearing it. So it's reinforcing thought that everybody is ill, when in fact a lot of people aren't. The majority of the people, the population, are not ill. And so every time you walk out like this, you're reinforcing, not only telling the other people that you possibly are ill and that they should stay away from you. And so then that creates anxiety, fear, and people don't want to interact, which is not okay and it's not normal. But then you're also saying that person is responsible for your health, when that's not true. And, you know, guilting, yelling, putting someone down for not wearing it, when one, again, it should be someone's choice whether they want to wear one or not. Just the same as whether someone feels like they need to receive the or not. That should be their choice, right? It shouldn't be to where I go up to someone and say, oh, you need to take that off. It's the same difference. I would never go up to someone and say, take that off. That's silly. Because I have to respect where they're at. I don't know what's going on with their health. So they might need to wear one, because although the bigger picture of what's going on is just much more deeper than the majority of the people understand. But just because I understand and have been able to see into what's going on and why all this is happening in the world, it is not right, or in my place, it's not my place to go up to people and tell them that they're ridiculous for wearing it, that it's not healthy for them to wear it because it's actually going to produce bronchial infection in the long run, or that, you know, it's not in my place for me to go tell someone anything, because again, if they have something going on with their immune system due to whatever it is that, you know, why that situation might be, then the last thing I want to do is tell them to take it off, because, you know, then I can actually be doing more harm than good. Same thing for someone who cannot wear one, because there are medical reasons why someone might not be able to wear one. So it's just as, you know, inconsiderate for someone to go tell someone you must wear one, because again, one, that person is pretty much being told that they have to pretend they're sick, and that they must walk around acting sick until they can prove that they're healthy, which is so reversed. You know, it's no different than saying, going up to someone just because they're standing next to a car, and you blaming them for auto theft, or they were about to go into their, that vehicle and take something just because they were standing next to it. And when they haven't even done anything, but you would accuse them because they were standing next to it. Oh, but you were standing there, so you were going to. Same thing. People are so uptight and fear. So much fear has been promoted and pushed that people are no longer having compassion, and the reasoning is pretty much obsolete right now. And so I encourage for you guys to start asking yourselves, okay, why am I getting really upset at someone for doing or not doing the same thing that I believe in? And if it's fear-based, then I'm going to suggest that you start shifting that within you, because really that's the actual thing that may possibly affect your health. And then that's when you become susceptible to becoming ill, because when you are walking around with so much tension, fear, and anything that is low vibration, then your immune system is not strong. And that's when you are more prone to becoming ill, or something happening. And also then I also suggest and invite you guys to start thinking about, besides doing this, what other ways can you actually be healthy, so that you don't have to worry about anything if it were to come into your space, that it's going to affect you so much that you have to be concerned with it causing severe damage. And I know that you understand what I'm saying. I just can't say certain words. So it's no different than any other type of, anything that could possibly be, airborne, or, before all this happened, people walked around with colds and it was fine. People were not freaking out, treating people like if they were assassins just because they were breathing fresh air. So really start paying attention to why you're reacting that way, or if you're being forced, if you're working in a workspace where you're being forced to police people for wearing these. Start asking yourself, is that something you want to be a part of? Because every time you force someone to do something they, for one, shouldn't have to, because it's their physical body, it should be their right, and that then you attack them, how are you making them feel? And are you okay with that? Are you okay with constantly attacking people that are perfectly healthy and forcing them to act as if they're ill? Are you okay with that? Because eventually what happens is, if you continue to reinforce this, then the body reacts and eventually accepts by wearing this, that you are prone to it. And so as a hypnotherapist, I understand how important it is for us to just really reinforce the positive, the good things, because whatever we think, then our body reacts, and eventually it will develop in our physical body. So again, we are going through a time where everyone is in a different place, but we have to remember that respecting wherever we're at, wherever each other is at in this process, is very, very important. It's, again, and I keep giving examples because it's true. It's no different than me going to someone's shopping cart, and saying, why are you eating meat? And why are you eating chocolate? And why are you drinking soda? You need to put that back. That's disgusting. That's bad for your health. How dare you? So we're forgetting that we are responsible for our health. So in other words, those that are telling the other people to wear one, they're in some kind of fear because somewhere in their mind they know that they're compromised somehow, and it's whether because they're not eating healthy, they're not exercising, something's going on, so they're in that fear space. So it just again, be open to just really asking yourself, where am I at, what's going on, and also start doing some research on the bigger truth of what's going on. I've never shared and push what I know to be true and what's going on in the bigger, spectrum of stuff, because I don't want to scare people or push information on them that they're not ready for. But at the same time, when somebody comes into my space and is not respecting where I'm at, then I need to also set boundaries and, just remind everybody that it's important to not cross those boundaries and to respect each other. So be kind to each other. Be kind to each other. And the only way we're getting through this is to really just have compassion. And also, if you are aware of what's going on, it is very important that you educate your family, because it might be your family that's bullying someone, and it's up to us to educate and tell them, perhaps it's not a very nice thing to do. Perhaps that's not a good idea, because we're contributing to something that is much bigger than we understand, than some of the people understand. And making someone feel horrible about not being able to wear one is not okay either, because then now you're affecting that person's emotions, state of mind. And just ask yourself, is that how you want to contribute to what's already difficult to go through, collectively? Is that how you want to contribute to the process that somebody else is experiencing during these times? We have to remember people are already having a difficult time, and there's a lot of emotions, anxiety, depression going on, and by yelling at each other and trying to make each other feel responsible or guilty is not going to be the answer. So I appreciate you guys watching and really just paying attention, listening, and start really considering perhaps just respecting and honoring each other through these times. And most of all, just love each other, I hope.